Welcome to the RadioU podcast. Coming up, ESPN is finally launching a streaming service where you can actually stream ESPN.
Also, Airbnb doesn't want to be Airbnb anymore.
All that and more on the way next. Howdy, it's the RadioU podcast, of course. You just heard us say that. Allie, hello.
Hello.
For everybody that's listening, they're here. This is the first time they're hearing us. But for us, we've been talking for hours.
We've been talking for hours, and we're about to talk to you even more because this is the beginning of the podcast for today.
It's such an odd way of doing things. It's so out of order.
It really is.
I hope it doesn't ruin any theater of the mind for anybody to know that everything you're about to hear, we've already said, but what we're saying now, we're just now saying.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Very odd.
It's podcasts.
Well,
you know?
I need to know. My head has fully been in the NBA, and now my Cavaliers, my precious Cavaliers, which you will hear about soon, no longer in the playoffs. So I need an NHL update. My mind's got to move to something else now.
Well, bad news. Your Blue Jackets are out.
Well, okay, I knew that.
They've been gone for a long time. The NHL, I thought this might be the year for Canada. When we are down to 8 teams now, right?
Yeah.
3 of them are Canadian, the Jets, Oilers, and Maple Leafs.
Yep.
Canada's hopes are slowly slipping away, though.
What? I thought Edmonton had a 2-0 lead, and Toronto.
Edmonton is up 3-1.
Okay.
So they've definitely got a shot, but the series is going back to Vegas. I could definitely see the Knights. The Oilers have a lot of goalie issues still.
Yeah.
Although I think they got a shutout in their last game, so I don't know.
They're up 3-1.
They're up 3-1.
I don't think you need to be that nervous about them.
Well, I don't want them to win. I did want the Jets to win, and they are down 3-1 to the Stars.
To Dallas.
And the Stars seem like they could be the team to beat, even though they barely made it by the Avalanche in the first round. The Stars, if you remember, going back to the beginning of the playoffs, the story with the Stars was they have Mikko Rantanen, who started the season on the Avalanche. They didn't want to pay him, so they traded him to the Hurricanes, who thought they were going to pay him and then decided they weren't going to pay him and traded him to the Stars. This all happened this season.
It's insanity.
This is like if the Cavaliers traded Donovan Mitchell to another team that was in contention for the playoffs, and then they traded him away, and then that team all of a sudden is like doing really well.
Yeah. It'd be like them trading him to the Knicks, and then the Knicks are like, we can't pay him. We're going to trade him to the Pacers. And suddenly here comes the Pacers.
Yeah. So, and then on top of all that, he's been tearing it up in the playoffs. Like he's the favorite to be the playoff MVP.
Wow.
So he's had a great playoffs. And then the Maple Leafs were up 2-0 on the Panthers, and surprise, surprise, they've lost the next couple games.
So it's tied now.
Yes.
I was going to ask you, I was like, how are the Maple Leafs doing? I know you had very little confidence in them.
Yeah, the Maple Leafs, I mean, they might as well have lost the series already.
The Panthers are really good.
Yeah, the defending champs. So that next game is coming up as of this recording tonight. Both the Panthers, Leafs, and Oilers Knights are in action for tonight.
All right, so maybe we'll get some answers. I mean, the Edmonton series, that could be over tonight.
It could be. I should probably double check all of these facts that I'm giving out just to make sure.
We trust you, Hudson.
That is accurate. Everything I said is accurate.
Okay, good. Okay.
I've been following along. So at this point, I still am pulling for the Jets to turn it around. But, we didn't even mention the most anonymous series. Like, this is so nobody cares.
Yeah.
The Hurricanes and Capitals.
Yep.
Even, I swear to you, because I listen to like hockey podcasts and stuff, hockey people are like not talking about this at all.
No
And it
one.
has Alex Ovechkin, who, that was all anybody talked about for hockey for the entire season.
Right.
He breaks the record. The Capitals have not been playing well in this series against the Hurricanes. They had a game where they only got like 14 shots on net, which is like half as many as you should get.
I was going to say, that's pretty low.
Yeah, so the Hurricanes are up 3-1 in that series too. That could close out tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we're getting places.
We could have the conference finals set here in the next couple days.
All right.
Just like in the NBA. So It's heating up, but it's sad because it means both the NBA and the NHL, we're almost done with them.
We're getting close to the end.
They do draw it out. They spread out these games at the end, but we're almost done with them. So.
Yes.
And but the good news is there's a whole podcast ahead of you.
Yep.
And no more hockey talk.
No more.
The results are in, and they're not flattering. for many states. Oh, I have here the annual U.S. News and World Report state rankings. They've given all 50 a score. And, do we want to start at the bottom, or do we want to start with some happiness and positivity of number one?
Let's just start off with the negative.
Right,
let's get that out of the way.
Rip the Band-Aid off. The worst state in this nation, according to U.S. News and World Report, is Louisiana.
Okay.
The second year in a row, Louisiana at the bottom.
Your shirt is literally, it says Louisiana on it.
Yeah, Louisiana. They're first in hot sauce, last in state rankings.
Yeah.
The hot sauce rankings did not help them much. You might be wondering, what are they even ranking the states based off of?
What's the criteria for Louisiana being the worst?
Okay, so the U.S. News and World Report, they have different things in these different categories, but they have 5 main categories that are weighted. The most important categories are education and healthcare. So I guess the education and healthcare in Louisiana must be pretty bad. Then they also rank on economics, infrastructure, and opportunities, but those are less important for some reason than education and healthcare. And so all that combined, and like I said, they have different metrics in each of those categories, but all that added up, tabulated together, says Louisiana's the worst.
Says they're the worst. I mean, I've heard, I haven't been to Louisiana in a long, long time, but I've heard that infrastructure-wise, there are still areas that have not recovered from Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
Yeah, they have some excuses.
Yeah, I think maybe it's a little bit mean to be like, you're the worst state ever. Like, they've had some disasters, obviously, and, Katrina's one of them, but... I think that's probably a reason as to why they would rank them so low. Is it then,
can we be mean to Alaska? It's 49th.
I mean,
they
Alaska
don't have any disasters that I know of.
They don't have a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And
probably because it sucks.
Well,
it's so bad. It's at number 49. Everybody's like, I don't want to go there.
They're limited based off of their weather, of what they can do, where they can do it. I remember hearing about when they opened the first Taco Bell in Alaska, how they had to ship everything out there because it's like they had nothing.
It's expensive.
Yeah. And so I get why they're limited in what they can do there.
You should be like a politician for one of these states and be like, listen, we're trying. There's only so much we can do. The rest of the bottom of the ranking, Mississippi was 48, New Mexico 47, and West Virginia 46. But West Virginia does get the honorable distinction of also being the most obese state.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
that's
that's something they took into account. So sorry, West Virginia, but something, an area for improvement. Now let's get to the positive. We got to get to the positive.
Also, I need to know where our state is.
Okay.
Both of us live in Ohio.
Okay, Ohio. Not the rankings are not kind to Ohio. It's number 38. And dropping 2 spots from last year. Ohio not doing well.
Okay.
Ohio did not have very good scores in natural environment or economy, but it does have not so bad an opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity in Ohio.
Lots of jobs in Ohio.
Unrealized opportunity, apparently. The top of the list. Utah, which is routinely scored at number 1, apparently, in these rankings, in the U.S. News and World Report state rankings.
So Utah's number 1.
Utah is number 1.
Okay.
And not across the board, but with everything taken into account, Utah's the best.
The Mormons know what they're doing.
Followed by New Hampshire, Idaho, Minnesota, Nebraska.
Okay.
I feel like a lot
out west.
I think any ranking that has Minnesota or Nebraska at number 5 feels like a flawed ranking to me.
I know. I'm like, what is Nebraska doing so well?
I don't know.
I feel like Nebraska and Ohio are kind of the same state.
Except
know what I mean?
Nebraska doesn't have cities. I have a challenge for everyone right now. And this is something literally I think everybody listening can do this. And so I want you to text in, get in the group chat, the RadioU hotline.
877-2-RADIO-U.
Tell us which app you're deleting off your phone right now. We all need to delete an app.
Just one.
It only has to be one, even though I bet most people could probably go ahead and delete several.
Multiple.
But you download apps over time. You forget they're on your phone at all.
Yeah.
And then you just have this long, long list of apps. And what good are they doing you? They're taking up space. Yeah, most of us have big enough phones now. You can have as many apps as you want. You don't have to think about it. But you don't need them all.
No.
Let's do a little spring cleaning. Get rid of one app. That's all I'm asking.
Just one.
One app. And then let us know which app you decided to delete at 8772-RADIO-U. I got to choose. I got a lot of candidates.
I've got a few candidates here, too. Stuff that I just do not use. Not that it hasn't served a purpose for me in the past. It certainly did for a time. That's why I downloaded it.
Yeah.
But I have not opened these apps in forever. And I'm like, they really don't need to be on my phone anymore.
Yeah.
So,
and aren't there so many that sometimes you do go through your phone and you're like, it's probably time to get rid of a few. And you see them. And you're like, well, what if I need that again one day?
Yeah. Well, I was saying off the air, I have so many apps that are for tickets. Tickets for, ball games or events or whatever. So I've got like one that's like Flash Seats, StubHub, Ballpark, Ticketmaster, SeatGeek. There's literally all of them.
Yeah, you don't need all that.
Well, and it's because every single time I go to a ball game or an event, I feel like they all could use different apps. I think Eventbrite's even on here.
Oh my gosh.
It's just like at one point or another, I was required to download this app.
Yeah.
I even have Vivid Seats. I just saw another one. But I was required to download another one. I didn't want to do it. I was forced into it. And now I don't want to delete these because what if I need them again?
Yeah, you never know. And do you do that? Do you ever play this game with yourself? You can group up the apps into one group.
Oh, yeah, like you can put them in a folder.
Yeah, it's one folder on your home screen.
I should do that, but I don't.
Oh, I do that, and then it's like, well, it only counts as one.
That's some almost girl math there for you.
Yeah, I think it is. We heard some of the first few coming in. Brooke says Time Hop is gone.
Oh.
It's over for Time Hop on Brooke's phone. We also heard from Regina, who says, I'm getting rid of the game Car Jam. It's become too much of a time suck.
Yeah, I keep getting ads for that, like on YouTube or whatever.
Get ready to get even more now that we've mentioned it.
Yeah.
Now that we've said it out loud.
Phone, don't listen to me. Don't listen.
For me, I have so many food streaming and mostly food and streaming apps.
Yeah.
That I downloaded, and the streaming apps I'm not going to get rid of.
Yes.
Because there's always some random thing that I'll find that I'll be like, where do I watch this? And it'll be on the Roku channel. And so I'll have to use the Roku app to watch it. Or it'll be on Pluto TV only. So I got to keep those. But I don't need all these like food and gas rewards apps.
No, you don't.
I never fill up at Pilot. Pilot's going.
Pilot
is gone. That's my goodbye Pilot app. You are done. I'm through with you.
The one I'm getting rid of, TurboTax. I don't know why I ever had the app. I did at one point. It's really like I downloaded it a long time ago because it's really far down on the list. You know, like it's not something that has been added to my phone recently, but I don't know why I would ever need the TurboTax app. I definitely still use TurboTax, but on a computer, not on my phone.
You don't do your taxes on your phone?
No.
In May?
I'm like, why did I ever use this? And why have I not noticed that it's just been sitting on my phone for probably years at this point? So it's gone.
It's gone. 8772-RADIO-U. Let us know which app you deleted. We have the RadioU hotline open.
8772-RADIO-U.
Get in the group chat. Let us know right now what's an app you're deleting today. We're going through. We're cleaning out. We got too many apps.
Yep.
We don't need them all anymore.
No.
And so this is something we're starting the day with productivity.
Yes.
With efficiency. We heard from William. He got in and he says he is deleting Temu. Who needs an app you don't even know if you're pronouncing it right?
Yeah, we don't know how it's pronounced, and I love what he says here. He's like, I don't even know why I have it, and I feel like that's the most of these apps that I'm deleting. I'm like, why did I ever get this app?
How did I get this in the first place? Why? What possessed me to think
to download
that I would ever use this? We also heard from Gavin, who says getting rid of X. He says formerly known as Twitter, formerly known as useful. Goodbye, X. That brings me to mine. Should I just be honest? Should I get rid of Blue Sky?
Do you even use Blue Sky?
I have not looked at Blue Sky. I have, in a long time, I posted on Blue Sky. I do feel like there's a couple people I know that I did like following on Twitter that migrated to Blue Sky and stuck with it. But honestly, I don't even scroll Twitter that much, /X, which Gavin just deleted. So am I really going to start scrolling Blue Sky to find these people, follow them again?
Probably not.
Yeah, I haven't missed it that much.
No.
Maybe you should just rip the Band-Aid off on that one. Just admit. We also heard from Sophia, who says, LinkedIn, it just makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
Goodbye, LinkedIn.
If you're not in search of a job, just delete LinkedIn.
Stephanie says, getting rid of the Crumble Cookies app. Yeah, overrated. I've had Crumble. If somebody brings Crumble Cookies, I will eat them and I'll be happy.
Okay.
But I would never spend money or download that app. It's not as good as it's cracked up to be.
I mean, I'm not a dessert person, but I've never eaten a crumble cookie and been disappointed.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just not. It's expensive and it's unhealthy. And
I definitely don't go out of my way to go get crumble cookies, but I've never eaten one and been like, nope, I regretted that.
I think that's a good health choice from Stephanie. We also heard from Jalen, who says, "Be real."
Oh, I deleted that a long time ago. I agree. That one was a fad, and when it went out of style, I was off of that quickly.
Yeah, that's how did you still have that there?
Yeah. I mean, I think I deleted that over a year ago. Come on, Jalen. What the heck?
I almost got sucked into Be Real, and then I was like, no, I'm not doing it.
It was not worth it.
Yeah, I didn't do it. Susanna says, deleting the RadioU app. I spend like 3 hours on it every day. Huge time suck.
The what app?
RadioU. Oh. Just kidding. She's keeping it. Now that you've made space, get the RadioU app. You will not be disappointed. You'll never want to delete it. Allie, I want to just give you the floor so you can eulogize your Cleveland Cavaliers who went down to the Indiana Pacers last night. The season is over.
Yes, and it ended in such a sad way because there were so many moments of hope, so many bright spots in that game last night, so many bad spots in that game last night. But, they made us hold on to the very end and really gave us hope there that maybe we would send the series back to Indiana just to lose there. But no, we lost last night, and I think I mentioned to you I thought that was going to happen, that it was going to be an admirable effort, but ultimately would come up short, and that's exactly what took place last night in Cleveland. It was sad. I do think the game was lost in the second quarter. They had a great lead in the first quarter. I think many people point this out with Cleveland. The advantage that they have over every other team is that they have twin towers, known as Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. And they utilized that heavily in the first quarter to get a quite substantial lead over Indiana. Indiana had no answer for that. They just kept getting more and more points in the paint. They got lots of free throw attempts. And then suddenly in the second quarter, they're like, let's stop doing that. Let's stop giving it to Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Let's try and take these threes. Let's stop passing the ball. They just started getting a little bit lazy with their shot choices. The shot making just was not great. It felt, again, like I've said in almost every game of this series, like there was a lid over the basket. There were points that would, moments where it would go in and it would rattle right out. And so it was just annoying that they would, start going away from what was really working. And, give credit to Indiana. Certainly their defense had improved as the game went on. But, that game was lost in the second quarter when they let them close the deficit. And then eventually they got the lead in, I believe, the third quarter. The Pacers did. And so, it was a tough game to watch. Tough way to end this really historic season for Cleveland. And not what I expected. I don't think many expected that this was going to be how it went. The team I was worried about playing in the playoffs were the Pacers. Yeah. They've kind of been the bugaboo.
You did say that.
Yeah. They've been the bugaboo for the Cavs for years. I mean, I remember LeBron's teams would have trouble with the
Paul
Pacers.
George and Roy Hibbert. Back in the day?
Yeah, that's really back in the day.
Yeah.
I remember they would have trouble with them back then. And so I just hope that they, keep this core together because I really do think they have something and hopefully improve for next season.
Yeah, I think there's a couple ways as the Cavs exit. you could look at this, you'd think, if not this season, when the East seems to be weaker and the Celtics, the night before you get eliminated, wind up losing Jason Tatum for the rest of the playoffs, and they're seem to be out of the way. And if you could just have fought back in this series, then you just got the Knicks to get through, and you're in the finals, and who wouldn't give you a shot going up against the Thunder? But, so if not this season, when? But it seems like the East should be wide open next year too, and the Cavs have a lot of pieces already in place, and maybe they can make a few improvements. So maybe I think the future could be bright for you guys.
I absolutely do. I think the same thing. I don't think that this is any one and done situation for the Cavs. They've been building to something for years, and I think a lot of people thought this was ahead of schedule for them to be this good, to be a number 1 seed. I know a lot of people going in did not expect them to be a number 1 seed, and so I don't have any type of negative feelings to what's coming for the Cavs in the next coming seasons. I think they will get there. But I will also point out, just as what I said with the game last night, they lost the game in the second quarter. They lost this series in the second game of the series when they let the Pacers come back and win in a game that they definitely should have won. So they just need to improve, get more. They got more playoff experience, but improve with that finishing the game at the end of it.
Yeah, Yeah. Well, that comes with making a few playoff runs, and so I think they'll be doing that the next few years. It doesn't look like the East is set up to. Giannis might be gone.
Yeah,
and the Celtics very well will not be probably the same team that they were this year, next year, and so the door will be open.
Yeah.
They got a shot. Justice is finally being served. Too bad it's just a bit too late. 8772 RadioU was announced yesterday that Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and other baseball players that have previously been banned for life or permanently ruled permanently ineligible for the Baseball Hall of Fame, they were literally banned for life.
Yep.
But now that they're dead, they're allowed to finally enter the Hall of Fame. The problem is, this is just too little too late for me. Pete Rose deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. At least he should have known when he was alive that he didn't even get the honor of knowing that when he died, he'd get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Mistreated, maligned, and it doesn't make it okay.
Yeah, it's tough. This is such a hard topic. I know we talked about it not too long ago with Pete Rose, and it's a tough situation because he's a larger than life figure. We'll just say that in baseball. The all-time hit leader for baseball, and I don't know if anyone will ever get close to the records that he has in some of the statistical records, but. Yeah, I'm certainly happy that they're now able to be added into the Baseball Hall of Fame. I certainly think he deserves it. And Shoeless Joe Jackson, he won several World Series. Yeah. He should probably be in there too. So, but I get what you mean as far as like feeling too late, but it's going to feel too late for all of these guys that are on the banned list or the ineligible list because the only time they get off of it is when they die.
Yeah. Literally, they use the term permanent ineligibility, which obviously doesn't mean what they think, what
permanent means.
Yeah, that's not what permanent means.
Permanent until you no longer live.
Yeah, so banned for life is more accurate at this point. It's just, at least players now know if they do something wrong and get banned, at least when I die, I've got a chance.
At least when I die, they'll reconsider me because they're putting together literally a historical committee which will create an 8-person ballot for the classic baseball era committee that I guess they'll decide then who gets added into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I do feel like Shoeless Joe Jackson, he was literally like, that's the early 1900s.
Yeah.
When he was playing with the Chicago White Sox. He was lumped in with a game-fixing scandal that he always maintained he was innocent of. I don't know if it was the entire team, but much of the team was found guilty of throwing games in the World Series.
I know, crazy.
And they banned Shoeless Joe Jackson from the Hall of Fame for that, which...
But I do think for the most part, I don't know if this is the way with it is with Pete Rose, because I know a lot of people still do not like Pete Rose. But for Shoeless Joe Jackson, I think a lot of people's opinions are completely different than what they would have been when those things happened.
I mean, literally, almost nobody. There's
remembers
a handful of people. Yeah, there's a few handful of people that are alive from when that took place.
Right.
I was going to say the Pete Rose thing is different to me because even though he didn't get to live for himself finally being inducted to the Hall of Fame, which he deserved, there are many people who enjoyed him and got to play with him or watch him
that
play.
Are still alive.
And that is when he gets in, which will surely be the first time, I guess 2027, that's going to be one of the biggest baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremonies ever because it's something that's been such a long time coming and people have been waiting for. Yeah,
I know they get to vote in 2027, but I believe it's 2028 when both of those men become eligible for it. So
I'm glad Pete Rose will get the justice that he deserved. It's just too bad he didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here for Pete Rose.
Okay.
I will stand up for him. Allie, I don't know why you want me to feel these things. Why did you send me the trailer? There's a new movie coming out. Nobody should watch this. It's called Together. It's coming out in July 30th, starring Dave Franco and Allison Brie. It is it's a body horror movie.
Yep.
And just from the trailer alone is its own body horror movie.
It really is.
That you can just watch on YouTube.
I just needed someone to commiserate with. And I know how much you loved Substance. So I was like...
I did, but I hated it.
I know. I'm the same here, because I watched Substance and I was like, great movie, but absolutely uncomfy to watch. That's what this Together movie looks like. So I was like, I need to send it to Hudson.
So it's like Dave Franco and Allison Brie, they're in a marriage, and it's like, oh, the marriage is like, well, we're okay, but it's not that. And then, like, the story, I guess, is they have some kind of encounter at a new home that they're at. And that starts to have each other influence each other's bodies, and these weird body things start happening.
I think what the trailer is trying to say is, like, you found your soulmate, and now you're, like, merging together. So connecting bodily.
Which sounds horrible.
Yeah.
It sounds, what a horrible way to go.
Yeah. It's looking pretty insane. So just think of, like, merging things. And not being able to disconnect those things.
I don't like it. I don't know why I watched the whole 2 minutes and 16 seconds.
Yeah, it's uncomfy.
And I don't know why you sent me this.
Because I needed someone to commiserate with me.
But why did you? You're not going to go see this, are you? You're not going to watch this ever.
Probably not. But I may watch it. I do like Dave Franco, and I haven't seen him in anything in a long time. So I was more like drawn in from the thumbnail of the trailer because I was like, oh, Dave Franco. And then I watched it, and I was like, oh my goodness, what is this? And then I was like, I need to send this to Hudson.
I'm not going to open any more links you send me. You're getting blocked. ESPN is launching a new streaming service.
Stop.
But this one, unlike every other one, will actually include ESPN.
Okay, so it is a little different.
It's a little different. If they actually launch it,
right?
Because let's not get ahead of ourselves. They've announced something like this before, and it wound up never happening. But supposedly this fall, ESPN will launch a streaming service simply called ESPN.
So creative.
And unlike ESPN Plus, this streaming service will actually have ESPN, ESPN2. The SEC network, ESPN on ABC, basically anything that would be on ESPN, and that includes all the ESPN Plus stuff, will be in this streaming service. Yeah,
apparently ESPN Plus is kind of going away. They're just merging the two, and so like the Plus gets dropped off, and you can select that like lower tier where it's still just all the ESPN Plus features. But you still don't get the ESPN channel, which to me is the biggest ripoff about ESPN Plus.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. It's so crazy they've always called it ESPN Plus since it's literally It's literally ESPN minus.
Yeah.
It's not ESPN.
Everything but.
Yeah, everything but what you actually probably wanted. Now, I know what everyone's thinking. How much is this going to cost?
Yeah.
And the answer is a lot.
Too much.
$29.99 a month. And that is for ESPN. But it does include everything that's on ESPN Plus, like that you would stream on there now, plus the stuff you actually want, which is
ESPN.
The games that would be on ESPN and ESPN2, et cetera, et cetera. So $29.99 a month, or you could bundle it with Disney Plus and Hulu. And I think, is this right? If you do it now, it's $35.99. But if you wait until it actually launches, you could actually bundle those all three for $29.99.
Yeah, that sounds like there's some type of deal that they'll do at the beginning to sign you up, and that's for your first year, be $29.99 a month. I don't need this. I pay for Fubo, and I do it with several people, so we kind of divert the cost. Like we divide up the cost of it because it is rather expensive to get one of these, either cable or one of these streaming cable things that they offer now, which Fubo is one of them. Weirdly enough, owned by ESPN, but it has all of the sports channels.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason I enjoy it, because I'm a huge sports fan, obviously, and I want to be able to watch, I want to be able to watch Cleveland Cavaliers. I want to be able to watch Cleveland Guardians. I want to be able to watch football, all of that, and all of that is included. So to me, with that price tag, it's not worth it, because you're not getting everything. Yeah, you're getting ESPN, but ESPN doesn't have all of the games.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would spend this amount of money for that.
And here's the other thing where the math ain't mathin' to me, Allie, is that what is currently ESPN Plus is just going to be a lower tier in the ESPN subscription thing now. And that will be that's called the Select plan. That's $11.99 a month.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that, yes, granted, while what I primarily want from ESPN is what's on ESPN and ESPN2, you're telling me that that's worth $18 a month versus the other stuff on ESPN Plus is worth $12 a month. Then why can't I actually just I might pay $18 a month for just the ESPN stuff and not include all the ESPN Plus stuff that honestly a lot of times is not that helpful.
Yeah.
Like, really, how often do I use ESPN Plus? It's included in the Disney Plus Hulu bundle, so I do have it. But I mean, like,
it's
to
not
watch some random golf stuff from time, a featured group in golf, that's worth $12 a month.
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So just give me the basketball and hockey games that you'd show for and especially the college football for $18 a month. But no, they don't offer that.
Nope.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it one bit. But at least they're finally making it an option.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't been for this entire time, which made absolutely zero sense. We just can't win. All right, I have good news and bad news. And I'll let you decide which is which at 8772 Radio U. Jordon Hudson, Bill Belichick's much younger girlfriend, has reportedly turned down an offer to be a part of Dancing with the Stars. But
I'm sorry.
That may be because rumors are she is eyeing a reality show with Bill Belichick instead.
No.
And so that could be that would get conflict with being on Dancing with the Stars.
No. Oh man, no. We don't want that. We do not want that.
Well,
Bill, please.
You don't have to watch it.
What?
You don't have to watch it?
I don't want to watch it, but I do not want it, because that means we'll have to talk about it.
We don't have to talk about it.
I mean, I feel like we're required now.
I probably want to talk about it. It sounds fun.
Every headline that includes Jordon Hudson we've been mentioning.
This is how we bring to. This is the new Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift thing. People got bored of that, I think.
I was just thinking that right as you started this break. I was just thinking, I was like, you know who couldn't be happier about Jordon Hudson making all these headlines? Mm-hmm. Taylor Swift. All the heat has been taken off of her back.
It's been
because
quiet
of
on
Jordon
that front
Hudson.
lately.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? You know what's going to happen. Jordon Hudson and Bill Belichick are going to have their reality show, and like the first episode is going to come out on whatever day, and the day before, Travis Kelce's going to propose to Taylor Swift.
Oh, that'll be a power move.
Write that down right now because that is going.
Clip it.
I don't know. It'll be a coincidence, but will it be though?
Yeah.
I can't wait for that to happen. But
clip it. Somebody clip it.
Save that. But I just like the bringing things together of like things that I'm interested in and things that people that don't care about sports are interested in, so we can have stuff to bond. That's why I like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Because there's people that had no idea about football.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden they're in the fold and we can have conversations. And the same thing, like maybe they feel vice versa. They're like, now I finally have something where we're on the same page about something.
I gotta be honest though, those conversations were not fun.
I didn't think they were fun.
They were like conversations that I felt like I was talking to somebody that was like in Delulu. Like they were just like totally down the Taylor Swift train and knew nothing about football, obviously, but then started to talk about football. It was very odd.
It was fun to have them be a part of things.
I don't know if I agree with that.
It was the football people that had the wild opinions to me.
Well, I will say eventually it did kind of get toxic on the football side. But I mean, hey, you poked the bear and the bear decided to respond and was like not happy. Like, hey, leave our sport alone.
And I feel like people are preemptively already coming out with the wild opinions. Oh, Bill Belichick's not going to be able to coach UNC because Jordon Hudson will distract him. How do you know?
Well, we don't know, but I mean, she wasn't letting him have an interview.
What does that have to do with football, though?
Well, I mean, we're starting to see some signs that she seems to be a little controlling.
She could knock his football investment and like abilities down by 50%, and he'd still be the smartest college football coach.
I would agree that he's a great football coach, but that doesn't always translate from NFL to college and college to NFL. So the boat's still out on that one. We don't know.
He is going to be absolutely fine, and I love the drama. So, and I will say I'm glad that Jordon Hudson is not going to be on Dancing with the Stars. Why? She's not a star.
Yeah.
She is literally the
I'll agree with that.
She's not even a Nepo baby. She's only famous because she's dating the best football coach of all time.
100% true.
Yeah. And much younger than him. Yeah. He could have a 50-year-old girlfriend. She wouldn't even be famous.
Yeah, she wouldn't be as popular.
Yeah, it's just because she's 24 or whatever.
Yeah.
We are doing Would You Rather Wednesday. The question is, would you rather never get stuck in line or never get stuck in traffic? And stuck in line is anything where you're waiting not in your car, and traffic is anything in your car.
Yeah.
Even if it's still a line. Brian said, I'd rather be stuck in line because at least you can play on your phone. You can do that in your car too.
Well, you shouldn't.
You shouldn't. But if you're stuck anyways, what harm is it doing? Regina says, sitting in traffic makes me so annoyed and impatient. So I guess she's saying stuck in line is her preferred choice. Lindsay says, never stand in line. My kids hate standing in line, but they love the car. And William says, I would say we all drive every day or most days, but I'm not always waiting in line. Traffic's kind of annoying, especially with people that can't drive. No traffic would reduce the number of accidents, so I'd choose no traffic. Seems like way more of a time saver and stress reducer. And one more real quick from Susanna who says, never wait in line. I don't mind either, but if I didn't have to wait in line for roller coasters, that one time per decade that I go to Cedar Point would be great.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, what are you saying, Allie?
I agree with the majority of what everyone is saying. I would much rather eliminate traffic because I don't feel like I find myself too many times waiting in line in person, like outside of my car. But, you know, when it happens, it's like, all right, it's not the worst thing because for whatever reason, when I am waiting like in my car, dealing with traffic in my car, the stress does go up. The stress level goes up, and I don't like myself when I get really stressed or sometimes angry. So yeah, I think I agree with not having to be in traffic would be fun.
Corey says, I'm choosing avoiding traffic. I don't want to be in an accident that damages my car or my person.
Yeah.
And when you're stuck in traffic, it's hard to get in a big accident because you're going nowhere.
Well, sometimes there's pretty bad accidents that happen in traffic. Not too long ago, we saw somebody stop on the highway and cause a pileup. So it's like, you know, if people aren't paying attention, which we see this a lot, unfortunately, accidents can happen in traffic.
I feel like I've tipped my hand, but I'm going to go with...
Never waiting in line?
Yeah, I don't want to wait in line. At the times I drive, because we work such odd hours, I don't get stuck in traffic. Nobody's on the road at 4 a.m. And also, like, I don't like driving, but I do like, I like alone time.
Yeah.
And when do I get more alone time than when I'm sitting in the car driving? And so if I'm stuck in traffic, I'm not happy about it, but at least I have like podcasts or music, RadioU to listen to. If I'm stuck in line, that to me, nothing feels more like I'm not a human than when I'm stuck waiting in a line to do something. I feel like an animal being herded. And so you think about, people are like, oh, you don't wait in line that much. People literally pay extra money to not have to wait in line at Disney World.
Yeah.
And to not have to wait in line to get their like groceries delivered instead of going to the store and waiting for a checkout.
Yeah.
So I think we go through all these hoops to avoid waiting in line. And you could just, in this scenario, wave a magic wand and not have to wait in line. Then you could go to the store. You could dilly-dally, have a good time, and then just zip right through the checkout.
Yeah.
You could go to a concert and just zip right in, have the best seats, and then zip right over, get your snacks and food and whatever, and zip right back and not have to wait in line. It'd be beautiful.
Well, I like the fact that you can zip right wherever you want to go and not have to deal with any traffic.
I mean, you still have to drive.
I live by a busy area, and sometimes it can be really hard to get out of my own apartment complex because of how many cars are going by. And so I love the idea that I'm like, yes, I can turn left. There's no issues with turning left. Oh, that would be such a time saver for me.
We also never really put a limit on like how much traffic is traffic though.
Well, I just think anything that would stop you from being able to go without being inhibited at a light, because lights are not traffic.
Right.
But like, if there's cars coming and whatnot and you can't go, that would be, in my opinion, considered traffic because you have to wait.
I will never pick traffic. You can't convince me. We'll need a verdict on this situation at 8772-RADIO-U. The situation is an employee fired after working at a company for about 2 years. He has a list of complaints. Chief among them is that he was threatened to be fired many times for frequent or long bathroom breaks. He literally says that he had a supervisor during part of his time at this company that would track any time he would go to the bathroom for over 10 minutes. After that supervisor was informed with a doctor's note that this employee had Crohn's disease.
Oh, no.
Crohn's disease, a chronic condition that primarily presents with diarrhea. Like, there's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
I know somebody, my uncle has Crohn's disease.
I know someone who has Crohn's disease.
Yeah, no fun. One of the worst nightmares I feel like I can imagine in life.
Absolutely awful.
And so this guy, not only though, that's not his only complaint, is that his bathroom breaks were tracked, which honestly... I guess in some cases you could make the case for that, but also it's that's like a thing they do in China where they put
cameras in the bathroom.
Cameras in the bathroom. We don't keep as much track of that here in the United States. Need a little privacy,
right?
But that wasn't the only issue. He also claims that he was potentially exposed to chemicals from industrial parts being dried in the kitchen oven where employees cook their food.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You know what's crazy is we've done something like that at RadioU, but now we don't have an oven, so.
Dried industrial parts.
I don't know, some bits. Ask Chris about it. Okay. He's done it a few times, but not in this building because we don't have an oven. But so there's that. He also claims that he was retaliated against even by multiple different supervisors, and then eventually was fired for reportedly alleged deficient performance. So now he's suing. What's the verdict here? Basically, I mean, his main complaint, industrial parts being dried in the kitchen oven. So he was exposed to chemicals potentially. And more importantly, his bathroom breaks were tracked even after. And he was threatened and made fun of for this by supervisors even after he informed them that he had Crohn's disease.
Yeah.
8772 RadioU. We need a verdict on this. You be the judge. Let us know your thoughts. We heard from Eli, who says they cook car parts in the oven, and the guy got written up for using the toilet, and he's the problem. So I guess Eli's on the former employee side. We also heard from Naomi, who says this guy got fired for going to the bathroom too much and got exposed to toxic fumes. This isn't a lawsuit. It's a supervillain origin story.
Oh, yes. Good point.
I feel like at this point I should reveal that we actually do know the company. It's SpaceX.
Yeah.
And the employee's name is Douglas Altshuler. I don't know if that plays into anybody's verdict, but the
well-known company.
Yeah, the facts are the facts, though. And so the toxic chemical things aside, because I feel like they might have just thrown that in.
Yeah.
To just try to make it a little more. But the bathroom stuff's enough.
Yeah, to me, that's enough where you could definitely start getting OSHA or ADA involved. Mm-hmm. To be like, okay, yeah, this is not okay. If you provide to HR and to your higher ups that you have some type of chronic disease, mm-hmm. there should be certain accommodations given to you. Mm-hmm. And clearly, with what he is saying, with his side of the story, mm-hmm. those were not really given to him. He was not afforded those accommodations, and that's not okay. For any workplace, no matter what company you are, no matter what you believe, that's not okay. Mm-hmm. And so now we just need to wait and see kind of how this goes and see what the employer side of the story is. Were they given the information about the Crohn's disease? Was that really true? And did this higher up really know about that? And that's what we need to find out. So
yeah, this is one of those cases because it's new. Sometimes we have You Be the Judge where we get it at the end.
Right, where we know
what the answer is, or at least we know both sides because it's played out in court. This one is a new lawsuit, so we have what the employee alleges. We don't necessarily have SpaceX's side of things, which Max literally says it's hard to make a call on this one without the employer statement, but he was definitely right to report using the oven for work purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not super great.
He literally says that he reported that to OSHA, which that's a lot of hassle to go through.
Yeah.
To go ahead and do that. So I tend to feel like the employee here should get something.
I feel like with just the Crohn's disease side of it alone, mm-hmm. there's probably some discrimination happening that was not okay. Because why would you lie about, having that?
Yeah.
You're not lying.
I mean,
and
he
also,
says he literally proved it to them.
He brought a doctor's note. That should be plenty to offer you accommodations as an employee. And mm-hmm. so if they were still not treating him well after that and kind of discriminating against him for something he can't control, then he should probably get some compensation.
He says multiple supervisors. They cycled through supervisors and the new guy came in just like the old guy. I was like, hey,
still did it.
Quit going to the bathroom. There's so much more to Airbnb now. 8772 RadioU. It's now Water B&B, Fire B&B, Earth B&B. It really is expanding. They're not actually rebranding, but they are expanding what they offer now. Now Airbnb, when you open up the app, this was announced yesterday, you're going to see 3 separate icons. One is for homes or stays, normal, Airbnb. You know them and maybe love them for. They're also going to offer experiences and services.
Okay.
And so, for example, in many cities across 650 cities across the world, I think at this time, 30 countries anyways, they are offering experiences like, for example, you could book a seat next to Conan O'Brien in his podcast studio while he records.
That's nuts.
Which, as much as I would love to be next to Conan, also can't wait to see the YouTube videos from his podcast where some random guy is sitting next to him.
I know.
Hey, he's not saying anything.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be... That one did kind of confuse me a little bit because I'm like, why did Conan agree to this?
Yeah, really, that's gonna be odd. Hopefully, that whoever buys those is off camera somewhere. It's next to Conan, but not that next to him,
right?
Where he could be heard or something. There's also they offer services as well, which I'm going to guess that's like, I don't know, somebody mowing your lawn or something like that. I don't even know.
Or maybe just like you can go ahead and book like, hey, I'm going to do my honeymoon or a romantic getaway or something. I want to have flowers delivered to the Airbnb or like dinner delivered. Kind of similar to like, when you get room service at a hotel. I think that's probably what they're trying to get here, because I know a lot of their ads have been targeting like, why would you stay at a hotel when you can stay at an Airbnb? So now they're like, well, a lot of people mention they can order stuff in a hotel that gets delivered to them right away. So I think this is why they are adding something like that.
Let me ask you this. You stay in Airbnbs pretty like often.
Not often, but I would say maybe once or twice a year.
That's often.
Okay. I don't know what the frequency to be often means.
Do you think... I want to talk about those commercials.
Okay.
Do you think that staying in an Airbnb is better or more fun than staying in a hotel?
I think it depends. There's some hotels that I would say are pretty fun, but I do like having, especially because for the most part, if I'm staying in an Airbnb, it's usually because I'm staying with a group of people and we're splitting the cost. I'm not staying by myself.
Yeah.
I have done that before, but for the most part, it's group trips. And I like that it offers you a space where you can all get together without being like in the lobby or, some room where it's not really set up for you to play games together, watch a movie together, have dinner together. I like that flexibility where it's like it's home away from home.
Yeah. Some Airbnbs, they are the vacation themselves.
Yeah.
Where a hotel, you usually, unless it's a resort, you're staying there, but you are
planning
doing
to do
that
other
to do other
stuff.
things.
Yeah.
But I just think my mindset is better in a hotel.
Why?
Why? Because I know the general rules of hotels, and so I don't have work. Like when I'm at a hotel,
anxious.
I'm relaxed.
You're not anxious.
I'm like, I'm turning the air conditioner down as low as it goes, and I'm leaving the towels on the floor, and I'm just like, I'm relaxed.
Yeah.
At an Airbnb, I still have the like tension of like, I don't want to mess anything up, and what if they charge me a cleaning fee? Like that's just one person that decides. A hotel, like they're probably not going to charge you a cleaning fee.
Yeah.
Airbnb, like they might decide, oh, you didn't do enough dishes when you left. You left a speck on this one. And
well, I'm not sure if you realize this, but a cleaning fee is included in the price of your hotel room.
And it's just pretty affordable.
Well, sometimes I do think hotel rooms now are more expensive than, people realize when you go and you're buying a hotel room. You're like, oh, wait, I didn't realize it was this much money.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can be cheaper to get an Airbnb if you're, splitting up the cost and you need a lot of space for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I understand the appeal of both.
I just feel like my mind, you feel like you're staying at somebody else's home, and that makes me nervous.
I don't know if I ever feel like that.
Staying at a hotel, I'm never, well, if it's a bad hotel, but like if it's a normal hotel, that's better than an Airbnb to me.
I don't know. Thanks for listening to the RadioU podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.